Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to talk about the thing that we all love talking about, and that is DICE, once again, breaking something to do with Battlefield 2042's sensitivity / uniform soldier aiming / input / whatever you want to call it. I have been getting countless comments ever since I think about 2 updates ago, specifically from console players, saying that they broke the sensitivity and they can't even really play the game. I don't think that's really necessarily true. I think they just have to tweak their settings, but some people are very adamant about it, that they broke sensitivity, feels terrible, way too fast, and they can't fix it. And the reason why we're going to be talking about this in today's video is because this is a very real concern for the next Battlefield title, because they are still having issues with it, and this has been a persistent issue that has existed since the beta of the game, and most likely before the beta of the game. So in today's video, I am humbly going to remind everyone just how many separate problems DICE has actually had with the input / sensitivity / all this other stuff, and we're going to go through and talk about each individual one and just sort of show you guys how incompetent they really have been with the inputs in Battlefield 2042, and why that bodes not so well for the next title, considering the input or the ability to aim in an FPS game is kind of the whole point, and it's one of the biggest, most important things in the entire game. So without further ado, if you enjoy the video, hit the like button, and of course, subscribe to the channel. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders, first link in the description. Feel free to drop my channel a follow. It is free, just as subscribing is on YouTube. So, let's just go back to the beginning, right? The beta. Okay, everyone launches the beta Battlefield 2042. Everyone is eager to see what DICE has been working on for so long. We download the game, we launch it, and we move our mouse / thumb on our controller, and we immediately know that something is wrong. Catastrophically wrong, even. So immediately noticeably wrong that even one of my friends refused to play the game until he got down to the bottom of what was making his mouse input feel so bad. And after about 3 hours of messing with it, he discovered that controller settings were somehow affecting mouse input / sensitivity. Well, that's not good. But thankfully, upon the game actually releasing, they fixed that issue fairly quickly. As of right now, controller settings do not affect any sort of mouse sensitivity / input. However, the problem still persisted because there were more issues. The game, even to this day, does not feel the way it should when you aim. You can play Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, whatever you want, then come play 2042, and there is a noticeable sluggishness and imprecision in Battlefield 2042's input feel. And I don't even think the most negative among us, sus, thought that DICE would be incapable of fixing such a important and fundamental aspect of an FPS game, but they haven't been able to. In fact, in their many efforts to try to fix the input of this game, they've actually, in some cases, made it even worse. One of my personal favorite examples is when they tried to address something with uniform soldier aiming way early on in the game. And they updated the game, and it actually caused PC mouse and keyboard players to be unable to move their mouse horizontally. And the only way to fix this was to go into the Documents folder and reset some of the sensitivity settings. I wonder how many people on that very day quit the game. Because imagine this, you update the game, 2042 just recently came out. You go to play, and you're a PC player who doesn't know any of these sweaty document changes, and you try to move your mouse, and you can't. You cannot move horizontally. I would quit the game too. But that's not all, because there are even more recent examples of this. You know, fast forward to, I think, just 2 patches ago. Many people on console in particular claiming that they just completely fucked up sensitivity, like totally messed it up. And here, lo and behold, takes DICE 2 weeks to acknowledge that it even happened, and apparently it's a server-side hotfix surrounding unintended amounts of sensitivity while aiming down sights with uniform soldier aiming. Well, considering that the last patch didn't have anything to do with uniform soldier aiming, how are you breaking it so catastrophically for such a large portion of your player base? And this all harkens back to the same point. What if this all persists into the next Battlefield game? Because even I personally have tried to reach out to high-profile developers at DICE to try to help them fix this problem, and they still mess things up. They still haven't been able to fix it. And even worse yet, they barely acknowledge its existence. And even worse, the input isn't the only thing making aiming feel bad. If you remember a couple months ago, Baranox and I, Baranox is a good friend of mine, had to personally inform the devs that there was a catastrophic recoil bug that was actively affecting your gunplay every single time you shot, and they had no idea about it until we told them. I mean, seriously, I'm not one to leak DMs, but you should see the sense of urgency that these developers were showing us when we were showing them the recoil bug. They were like asking us a bunch of fucking questions. They were legitimately interested, and, you know, fair on them, but holy shit, how could this fly under the radar for so long, on top of the fact that you still haven't fixed the input? You know what I mean? It's just really not good, and it doesn't bode well for the next title. Now, if this sort of thing persists into the next Battlefield game, I might lose it, because the feel of a Battlefield game is one of the many very important things that a video game has to get right. You know, Battlefield 3, people always talk about, oh, that game feels so good when you shoot, you know, there's a good feedback, you know. Same with Battlefield 4, you know, oh man, you know, the gunplay, you know, it feels responsive and snappy and all that. You cannot say the same for Battlefield 2042, and it is because of incompetency. But it isn't just incompetency. It also is some sort of hesitation or refusal to actually publicly address the issue and prioritize fixing it correctly. Because, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but wouldn't you guys think that fixing the input in an FPS game should be like a top 1 priority fix? I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I think aiming and the feel of aiming in an FPS video game is, pretty fucking important. But don't worry, guys, because next week we're going to be receiving a small server-side update that should make it so some console players can actually aim in the game again. So, thank you guys for watching, I really do appreciate it. Talking about this topic in particular gets me really, really riled up because it is just one of those things that shouldn't even be a problem, and we shouldn't be here discussing it, right? It should have been eradicated as soon as possible, and that should have been the end of it. But, of course, in true DICE fashion, it's not. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button, and, of course, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. Follow me on Twitch. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. I've been streaming Battlefield 1 recently. I wish I could stream Battlefield 5, because 2042 is kind of boring, but Battlefield 5, unfortunately, is plagued with cheaters that will grab your IP address and try to dox you. And, of course, EA's not doing anything about that either, so damn, that really sucks. I'll see you guys later.